is EC2. In simple term, the full meaning of EC2 is just ECC, and it means Elastic Compute Cloud. When you search for EC2, you are going to get a basic description of it, which is virtual servers in the cloud. So you want to create an EC2 instance, as it is called, just one EC2. Then you have a virtual server in the cloud. So we'll be talking in depth about this AWS service, and then you are going to learn a lot, and you can put it into use in your work or just for play. So that's what EC2 is, Elastic Cloud Compute, and it provides a web service API for you to provision, just like provision a virtual machine on your physical machine, for you to be able to manage and the provision virtual servers in AWS cloud. That's what is AWS service. And this service, what it does is that you can use the provision, manage, and the provision virtual servers in the cloud. And one benefit of it is that you can scale up and down whatever server you create in EC2 with EC2. You can scale up, that is, increase the computing power, maybe the RAM, number of CPU, the disk, every other thing. You can modify it, you can increase and reduce it. Also, you only pay for what you use. For example, if we should create an EC2 instance, which we'll be doing soon, if you create one now and we use it for a while, we only pay for that time. If we shut it down, we are not paying. Just the EC2. And EC2 can be integrated with other services. You can integrate EC2 with every other services. In fact, it's the most common service. Alright, now let's talk about EC2 pricing. So EC2 pricing, no, okay, this is it. Alright, there are 4 different pricing model of EC2. As you can see, we have on demand, spot instances, saving plans, and dedicated host. Those are the 4, and we'll be talking about these 4. I'll just be going over what you need to know about each. You can read the page, but I'll be summarizing what the content of the page is, which is that the on demand is, as it sounds, you only pay for what you use, and you pay per hour or per seconds of your usage. You can see with on demand instance, you pay for compute capacity by hour or seconds. So that's just what it is. And the spot instance is very interesting, guys. What it does is that, AWS has data centers throughout the whole world, and these data centers contains servers that can provide millions of virtual servers for you. So these available virtual servers that are not being used on these data centers, AWS allows you to bid on all these virtual servers, similarly on all these EC2s. As an example, you can bid on them, so the highest bidder will have access, or will be given the right to use them until another bidder comes. So that's what you get with spot instances. You just bid on spot, and then you use it in specific cases. It's not advisable that you use spot instances via EC2s in a production environment. Using specific, you can see recommended for all of this. Alright, so the third one is savings plans. Savings plans is also referred to as reward pricing, as you can see. So it just allows you to save costs when you purchase EC2 for a long period of time. Let's say you might want to purchase EC2 for like a year or 2. So with that, you are going to have a lot of reduction in the price you are going to pay compared to you paying as you go. And lastly, we have the dedicated host. and this allows you to have a dedicated server just for yourself, like dedicated or physical EC2 server dedicated for your own use only. No one is sharing it for you, and it will up and running. You pay per hour and you get reduction in price. This is very costly. This is the cheapest, but it's not 100% reliable, and then this pay as you go, and you save cost by purchasing for a longer period of time. That's just the summary of EC2 pricing. So now, what are the components of EC2? Let's talk about the component of EC2. So what are the components of EC2? Just if I say what is the component of a computer or a physical machine, you might say we have the hardware, we have the software, you have the hard disk. You can mention things like that, and we have something similar in EC2 as well. The first one is, call it AMI, which we'll get into in a while. AMI is simply Amazon Machine Image. AMI is called Amazon Machine Image, and what it is just basically operating system image. This is it. So that's the first component of EC2 instance. The second component is instance type. What instance type simply means is the compute resource in this EC2 or in the server you are about to create. You can specify the compute resource. That is, you can specify the RAM size, the numbers of CPU, and even AWS even provides gives you the use cases of all these instance types, because they have a lot of instance types. We call it instance family. The one you can see here is called this is the T2 family, and I'm using T2 micro because it's free tier. But you can see a lot of instances, guys. You can compare them, but I want to show you something even more cool. EC2 instance types. Okay, I think this is it. Now this is it. These are the types. You have the general purpose, you have the compute optimized, depending on the use case what you want to be using them for. And AWS has done the good work of showing you what they are, what they have, and the use cases of each. As you can see, this compute optimized, these are the use cases: high performance computing, batch processing, ad serving, video encoding, gaming, etc. That's the family. This is the family for that. You have them here. You have more details about them here. You can see the numbers of CPUs, you can see the memory, bandwidth, and every other thing. So with that, you can specify your instance type. Just go over that, see that. But if you are using this for just practical, then you can go with the free tier. The free tier that I've selected, there are two or more free tiers. We have the T2 micro, and then we have T1 micro. T1 micro have one CPU and then 612 gigabit of RAM, 0.6 gigabit, like a little bit over 512 megabytes. But in this video, I'll be talking about just the T2 micro. It's free tier and it's the highest of free tiers that we have. So another component of EC2 instance is what we call the EBS, which is simply the storage. So you can specify the size, and it has different types as well. You have the general purpose, we have general purpose 3, 2, we have IOPS, SSD, and the rest. And the Amazon Machine Image that we talked about earlier, we need to talk more about it. This is it, Amazon Machine Image, and there are many, guys. You have Windows, you have Mac, you have Linux, different distros of Linux, and you can even browse more here. Can you see? At the moment, there are over 6,000 Amazon machine images in the AWS marketplace. I don't know why this now was okay. So there are over 6,000. You can put your own there. There are 500 published by just everyone. The quick start, you have this, so you can select anyone you want. That's that. So another component of EC2 instance that is important is the tag, and use that here. The tag is used to identify a resource on the cloud, just like a label that is used to identify instances. So you can give the name, and it comes in pair. You have key and the value, and that's what it is. All right. So another component is the security group. Security group is like a firewall. Just like you have a firewall on your network to prevent what's coming in and what's going out, you have security groups to secure EC2 as well. And the last component I'll be talking about is key pair. Key pair is basically what you use to sign in. You can see it's to connect securely to your instance. Just it will have it has two parts. You have the public key and private key. When you create a key pair, it's going to give you the public key. Then the private key will be on the EC2 instance. So when you want to sign in, use the public key to sign in, including the username and the IP address of the EC2 instance, of course. So that's just it. So now, steps to create an EC2 instance. Very simple. Just search for EC2 instance. Oh, sorry. EC2. Just click on this. Click on that to take you to the EC2 dashboard. Then you can just scroll down, or you can just click launch here, but oftentimes you need to come to instances. Click on instances, and they just created a new nice looking instance page. I think today they made this available today. So now just click on launch instance. So now you specify, just like what the components that I talked earlier. You give the name and tags. You specify the Amazon machine image that you want, AMI, pick any of those. Then you select the instance type that you want. If you are taking this as a test, I advise you go with T2 Micro. Then provide key login, that is key pair to sign in. Then you set up the security group, which is very simple. Then you configure the storage. Then advanced settings, maybe you want to use some provisioning, you can put that in the user data here, and you get a summary of what you've selected. Then you click on launch. That's how to create an EC2 instance on AWS.